Hey Kingdom family, it's the Business Bishop, excited and delighted to be a part of your life and legacy. Well, today's Kingdom conversation is exciting. A couple of years ago, I hosted a challenge called the Dominion Challenge, in which we explored the Dominion mandate as it is revealed in Genesis 1:28. And it was eye-opening, it was transformational. To this day, there are hundreds of people who claim that it was a defining moment and a turning point in their life. Well, today I'm going to take you into a little bit of the Dominion Challenge. I'm going to share with you from the second day. Second day of the challenge was entitled Define Your Domain. Define Your Domain. And what I want to do is help you achieve some clarity about the realm of responsibility that you have been given dominion over, rule over by God. See, each and every one of us was made to manage a very particular aspect of God's work. If you want to know what your purpose is in the earth, according to Psalms 8, God says, the Bible says, you made him, that is man, to have dominion over the works of your hands. In other words, we were made to manage a very particular aspect of God's work. You were made to manage a very particular aspect of God's work. And that is your realm of responsibility. It is your domain. And guess what? The seeds of your success have already been planted in that field of favor, that realm of responsibility. Well, I'm going to take you into part of the session, and I cherish your comments and your feedback. Please watch it right the way through to the end. Do take notes. At the end, I have a very important announcement for you. Would love for you to become a part of our private community where the Kingdom entrepreneurs, professionals, influencers, and creators meet, connect, share, and grow. Anyway, that's at the end. For now, let's look at this. Define your domain. So this session is about achieving clarity and conviction and courage for your assignment, and here goes. So we're going to go through this circle. We're going to go through this circle. And I'm going to start at the top with the idea of responsibility. But if you look to the left, you'll see a little bit of a definition for dominion. So dominion defined means absolute authority in the realm of your responsibility. So when I talk about dominion and having dominion, I mean that I have authority in the realm of my responsibility. And I guess authority and responsibility are two sides of the same coin. That if you have authority, then you are responsible. And if you are responsible, then you have authority. A lot of people, when they think about dominion, think about authority first. They think, oh, okay, well, I have dominion, so I'm ruling, I'm in charge, I'm in control, I'm the leader. But leadership and rule start with responsibility. Your authority comes from your responsibility. Your authority is legitimized by your responsibility. So if you are responsible, then and only then do you have authority. So dominion starts with a sense of responsibility. I'm going to say that again because it is so critical to defining your domain, that dominion starts with a sense of responsibility, or what I'm going to call a revelation of your responsibility, the realization of your responsibility. That is, what is God holding you responsible for? What are you responsible for? Now, some of you are familiar with the parables in the New Testament, particularly in Matthew 25, the parable of the talents, how that to one he gave 5, to another he gave 2, to another he gave 1. And he gives them responsibility, and they are accountable because of their responsibility, and they have authority to make decisions, investment decisions, because they are responsible. And so dominion starts with a sense of responsibility. If I had time, I'd talk about Moses and his call to leadership. His call to leadership did not start at the burning bush. His call to leadership became clear to him when he saw an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew and he slew the Egyptian. What was he doing? He possessed a sense of responsibility. And whenever you start to feel responsible for something, that is a clue to your assignment and the realm over which God wants you to rule. So it's responsibility first. And what does God give you responsibility over? He gives you responsibility over a field of potential. A field of potential. Like the Garden of Eden that God put Adam in was not a ready-made, beautiful place. It was a field with seeds of potential in it, a field of seeds. Because like we said in the last section, God did not create the garden, God planted the garden. So at some point, it was a field of mud on the surface. But underneath the surface were the seeds of potential. And what God gives to every man, every kingdom citizen, is a field of potential in which the seeds of greatness have already been planted. This is your garden of gifts. And you are responsible to design, to develop, and to defend it. You'll remember that Adam's first job was to dress and to keep the garden. God put him in it to dress and to keep it. To dress it means make it beautiful. To keep it means keep it beautiful. So protect it, defend it. So here's your garden. Here's your field of seeds. Here's your place of potential. Here's your opportunity. I want you to cultivate it, make it beautiful, and protect it and defend it. So dominion starts with a sense of responsibility. So number two, your Garden of Eden, your own Garden of Eden could be a family. It's simple as that your family, that's it. That's your Garden of Eden. It's your realm of responsibility. It's your field of seeds. It's your field of potential. It's your garden of gifts. And you feel responsible for dressing and keeping it. But it equally can also be a company, a corporation, a brand, a cause, a movement, a message, or a mission. That movement becomes your garden of gifts, your field of potential, your realm of responsibility. That message becomes your realm of responsibility. The mission becomes your realm of responsibility and your field of seeds. The company, the brand, the cause, it's your Garden of Eden. For some people, it looked like a field of mud. For some people, it looked like a wasteland. But I want to remind you of another parable in the New Testament where Jesus spoke about a man who found treasure that was hidden in a field. And for joy, he hid it again, sold everything he had, and he bought the field. The reality is that the person who sold him the field had no idea how much treasure was hidden in the field. And there are a lot of people looking at your field and they can't see the treasure that's in it. But once you see the treasure that is hidden in your field, this means that you have a Garden of Eden to dress and to keep. Now, number three, the palace. The palace is a very powerful metaphor because the palace represents the house of the throne, the seat of government, and is the place of rule. So your household is always the palace.
even if you have a company, a brand, a cause, a movement, a message, a mission, your household is the palace. It's the royal residence, the king's castle, the seat of government, and the house of the throne. And it's important that you protect it, because when the enemy assaults your kingdom, he first attacks the gates. And once he gets in the gates, he will attack the palace. That was for someone to take away right now. Plants and creatures. In the Garden of Eden, Adam had responsibility, dominion over plants and creatures. And in every garden, every domain, whether it's a company, a brand, a cause, a movement, a message, a mission, in every domain, in every aspect of God's work, there are going to be plants and creatures. What do the plants represent? They represent prosperity opportunities, opportunities for prosperity. So in your realm of responsibility, there are multiple opportunities for prosperity. Like, you don't even have to look in someone else's field. You know, sometimes we're looking at someone else's field and saying, oh, that's where the money is. That's where the prosperity is. That's where the power is. That's where the influence is. No, no, no. It only looks like it's over there because they found the treasures in their field. You have to find the treasure that's in your field and understand that in every man's field, God has planted opportunities for prosperity. The opportunities for prosperity are planted in your realm of responsibility. Number two, creatures. Creatures represent features and factors that you get to define and design. So, you know, all the creatures that were in Eden, guess who named them? Adam. Adam named them. And whatever Adam called them, that's what they were. So he got to define them. And he got to design and define. And so when it comes to your realm of responsibility, you are the one that gets to define and design. And, you know, this can go as, I mean, you know, if I had time, but I don't have time, but this could go as far as, look, what other people are calling a crisis, you define it as an opportunity. What other people are defining as a setback, you define as a setup. What some are defining as a breakdown, you define as a breakthrough. What some people are calling a test, you call it your next testimony. You get to define the creatures and the features that are in your garden. Number 5, leadership. You lead the people. Okay, so leadership is not the same as tyranny. Okay, leadership is not the same as tyranny. Remember, God did not give you dominion over other people, but he does call us to lead. He does anoint us to lead. He does equip us and enable us to lead. And leadership involves inspiring collaboration and modeling success. And so in your field, you're going to be the leader. And as the leader, you will inspire stakeholdings in the vision. You will inspire shareholdings in the vision. You will inspire partnerships in the vision. You will model excellence and greatness in the movement. And you will have people populating your garden, populating your field of potential because of your inspirational leadership. And number 6, ruling the realm. Ruling the realm literally means that you are managing your mission, because you were made to manage an aspect of God's work. Managing the mission is what ruling the realm is. You know, this is not some medieval sense of rule. Okay, I don't want you to think of yourself as a king in the medieval sense or in the secular or the human sense, but in the kingdom sense and in the spiritual sense, your rule is your management of a mission. And when you manage your mission, you're managing the opportunities that come with it, the resources that come with it, and the relationships that come with it. God plants the garden, but then he plants you inside of it. So God has already planted a field of potential, a realm of responsibility. He's put you in it to lead and to reign, to, the prophecy says that they shall live and reign with him. Your reign is your management of the mission, including the opportunities, how you manage the opportunities, managing the resources, managing the relationships, because that's what dominion actually looks like. So someone said, okay, well, if I had dominion, what would it look like? It would look like I have a field of potential and a realm that I feel responsible for. It could be a company, it could be a movement, it could be a message, it could be a mission. But this is my realm of responsibility. And in that realm, there are opportunities for prosperity, and there are features that I get to define, and I get to populate it through my inspirational leadership, and I get to rule it by the way that I manage the opportunities, resources, and relationships that come with that realm. Wow and wow. So that's a definition of dominion, okay? That's to help you say what dominion actually is. Dominion is authority in the realm of your responsibility. And every one of us has been given a realm of responsibility because we were made to manage an aspect of God's work. So let's talk about your Garden of Eden. Okay, this is the realm of your God-given responsibility. This is your domain. And in your domain, you dominate that's what a kingdom is. It's the king's domain. So your domain is the realm over which you rule. It's where you reign. And it's the field for which you are the God-appointed farmer to cultivate, to populate, and to replicate. It's your field. Okay? Now I want to break down exactly what your field is, what your garden is. Okay? So if you really want to discover your garden, it starts here. It starts with your experience, education, and expertise. Make a note of this statement. The mystery is in your history. I'm going to say it again. The mystery is in your history. What do I mean? I mean that trees grow down before they grow up. I mean that any tree that doesn't grow down cannot grow up. And I mean that the depth to which it grows down determines the height to which it can grow up. So whatever God has pre-designated for you, there are going to be roots of your reign in your experiences in life, your education, the things you have learned, your expertise, the things at which you are good. And when you look at your experiences and the things you've learned and the things at which you are good, you are now looking at your roots. And because that's the starting place, because the mystery is in your history. Now, if you add to your experience, your education, and your expertise, if you add to it an enterprise, an initiative, an organization, a message, or a mission, okay? In other words, you're going to take your experiences. So perhaps you survived something that other people are still struggling with. Perhaps you broke through a barrier that other people are still blocked by. Perhaps you overcame an obstacle that is still obstructing other people. You survived. Or perhaps you achieved a goal that millions of other people are still trying to achieve. That's your experience, that's your education, and that's your expertise. But if it's all in your head, you don't have a domain. Okay? If it's all in your head, you don't have a realm over which you're ruling. You have to now convert your experience into an enterprise or an initiative or an organization or a message or a mission. And once you convert it into that, what you now have is a field. A field. The enterprise is your field. The initiative is your field. The organization is your field. The message is your field. The mission is your field. The movement is your field. Because I've known some people who took their experience and said, you know what, I'm going to birth a movement with this experience. I'm going to birth a movement that outlives me. I'm going to build something that my children's children can benefit from. And where's it coming from? It's coming from your roots. It's coming from your experiences in life, your learning in life, and the things that you can do well. But you translated it into an enterprise, initiative, organization, message, or mission. And once you've done that, what you now have is a field, a realm, a cause, a calling, and an assignment. Now, once you have a field, a realm, a cause, a calling, an assignment, and you now bring to that your sense of responsibility and say, you know what, this message, I'm responsible for it. This is the aspect of God's work that I was made to manage. This message that you can survive, you can bounce back, you can overcome. This is not the end. That message now is actually, I was made to manage that aspect of God's work. That's my responsibility. The mission or the movement, the enterprise, the initiative, it's my responsibility. And you say, I'm going to manage this, I'm going to steward this, I'm going to lead this. Then what that's going to produce for you equals, what's going to produce for you is opportunities. Opportunities. And with those opportunities, some of them are going to be opportunities for prosperity. Some are going to be opportunities for impact. Some are going to be opportunities for influence. But with those opportunities are going to come resources, because God plants all the trees in your garden. And they're going to be relationships. Resources and relationships are going to be part of your opportunity. So someone said, well, I don't have a field. I don't have a field. The reason you don't have a field is because you haven't taken your experience and converted it into an enterprise or an initiative or a message or a mission. But once you do, you now have a field, you have a thing of which you can be the king. A thing of which you can be the king. So I don't know why I keep saying this tonight, but I'm going to say it again because it's for someone. You survived something. You survived something. But there are millions of people still struggling with the thing that you survived. It's all in your head, so it's not a field of potential until you say, you know what? I'm going to make this my message. And I'm going to either write a book, or I'm going to run a podcast, or I'm going to give an interview, or I'm going to actually get my message out as to how I survived and how I thrived in the face of this adversity and this opposition. Once you say that, you now have a cause, a calling, a realm, and a field. Once you assume responsibility for that message and say, this is the aspect of God's work that I was made to manage, it will create for you new opportunities, new resources, and new relationships. It's equally true of someone who started with nothing, came from humble beginnings, and found a formula that got them into prosperity, into wealth, into abundance and increase. That's great, so long as it's in your head, it's not your field. When you convert that and say, you know what, there are millions of people who desire to achieve what I've already learned to achieve, I'm going to make my formula available to them. You now have a message or a mission. That message or that mission becomes the field that you take responsibility for, that now brings you into a new realm of opportunities, resources, and new relationships. And it may be that you're very passionate about, because you've had an experience in your past and you're now passionate about children's education. You're passionate about marriage and family. You're passionate about careers and finance. You're passionate about fitness and health. But so long as that's just in your mind, you don't yet have a realm. You now need to convert that into an initiative. Once it becomes an initiative, you now have a field that you're responsible to manage, steward, and lead. And from that field, you will now begin to find opportunities, resources, and relationships. What we've written at the bottom here is, until you translate your experiences or expertise into an enterprise or initiative, you have no domain. You are a king in waiting. So I want to deal now with how to locate your garden, okay? Because that's what your garden is. It's your field of which you are the designated farmer. It's your realm over which you reign. It's your domain that you're called to dominate. It's the thing of which God made you to be the king, and it's the aspect of his work that you were made to manage. That's your garden.
Hey friend, I trust this training is blessing you right now and that it gave you a glimpse into our world. It's an epic world of like minds that share our vision and values. The full session, together with replays from all our webinars, is available in our private members community. It's called the New Breed Community and is an exclusive online network where the partners in our mission connect, share, learn, and grow. If this material resonates with you, then partner with Bishop Wayne today to unlock a world of resources, connections, and coaching. You can join our community today with a one-time membership fee and gain instant access. Click the link.
What if everything you've been taught about money, prosperity, and God's intention for the earth has been too small, too narrow, and totally disconnected from the original plan? What if your struggle has never been about your potential, but about your perspective? And what if the real economy, the one God designed before the foundations of the world, has been waiting for you to discover it? Well, that's why I wrote Kingdom Economics. And before this book is released to the world, I want to give you an opportunity to get ahead of everyone else, to join the waiting list and to be among the first to access a revelation that is going to redefine how you see wealth, work, stewardship, and purpose. Kingdom Economics is not another book about money. It's a prophetic blueprint. It's the rediscovery of God's original purpose for global prosperity, the prosperity of nations, families, and kingdom citizens. It'll show you that God has a purpose, a plan, and a process for your increase, and that everything he designed for you begins with alignment, not anxiety. From Eden to Abraham to Christ, this book reveals a pattern. God never intended scarcity. God never mandated smallness. God never glorified survival. He created you for dominion, productivity, influence, and generational impact. But here's the important part. The book is not yet released, and before we make it available publicly, I want to open the doors for those who are hungry, ready, and positioned to join the waiting list. And to reward early action, I'm giving something special. The first 50 people who join the waiting list and purchase the book on release day will receive the full audiobook version completely free. That's right, buy the physical or digital book on release day, and if you're among the first 50 buyers from the waiting list, the professionally narrated audiobook is yours at no cost. This will allow you to not only read the revelation, but also hear it, meditate on it, and carry it with you as you rise into a new economic reality. Join the waiting list today. Be among the first to receive
Kingdom Economics when it launches, and secure your chance to receive the audiobook absolutely free. This book will challenge you, stretch you, correct you, elevate you, and align you with God's original design for your life. Your future is calling, your assignment is calling, and creation is groaning for what you will build next. Join the waiting list now and be one of the first 50 to claim the free audiobook when Kingdom Economics is released.
Hi, I'm Bishop Wayne. According to the Bible, there are only two paths to prosperity. One involves the pursuit of peace, and the other is led by peace. If you could, which would you choose? I would choose the path that is led by peace and reject the one that promises peace at the end. One is driven by a material worldview, while the other is informed by a spiritual worldview. Let me explain. What if money at its root is a spiritual substance freely given by God to the believer? What if the marketplace is actually driven by faith, not finances? Meaning, what if what drives the economy isn't money at all, but rather beliefs? What if creativity wasn't about making something new, but about drawing something hidden out of what's already been given? What if effective selling is not about scripts, persuasion, or coercion, but rather the art of igniting beliefs, awakening consciousness, and shifting how people see what's possible and available? What I'm sharing with you is a spiritual worldview that gives the ultimate advantage for entrepreneurs and wealth creators. The truth is, you can have all the pieces of the puzzle together, and yet the picture has no soul or life. If you are doing all you know but not getting all you want, the problem is not with your doing, it is with your being. The answer is not to do more, but rather to be more so you can do less and get more. With God's economy, being comes first, then out of your highest being comes your best doing, and out of that, your greatest rewards. There is a spiritual way to build, create, and multiply, and I will unpack it with detail and precision over 4 days at the Power to Get Wealth Challenge. Click the link to find out more.